quick update then. Every time I touch that boat, it's a rabbit hole. No matter what I plan, you start one job and it turns into 5 jobs. Here on the bench at the moment is the forehatch and the garage for the forehatch. I removed those as carefully as I could with an idea of refitting them afterwards. The forehatch was leaking. This has been made by putting thin laminates of, that looks like a Roquetta, maybe, it might be oak, I don't know, alongside each other, and then underneath it gluing this even thinner laminate, and I think that's got to be, oh, is that an 1/8 of an inch or something? Gluing that underneath. You can see how badly it's stuck. There's lots of dry patches there, and actually I peeled it all off with my fingers and it was all the way along there. That's why the hatch was leaking there. It's a new forehatch, or at least a new top for the forehatch. The rest of the wood is good wood and it's in good shape, so I'm going to reuse it, and possibly even just leave it where it is, just refix it a bit maybe if I need to. So the first job of this will be to route out that top and take it off. I've got some of my Roquetta on order, so I'll do some proper strip planking across there. It'll match the forehatch. Beautiful. That's a relatively straightforward job, I think, I hope. But you know, everything I look at I think, oh, straightforward, and it turns into just, well, a rabbit hole. So that can be reused, a lot of that. That'll just be refurbished, I suppose, and refixed. The garage is a different story. So these drains they're all rotten and soft there, and cracked out. You probably can't see the movement there. That's all gone nasty. That's rotted as well. That bit you can see is just moving. Now, I really honestly looked at this with a view to doing not, you know, the maximum work, but just doing what needed to be done, then leaving it. So refixing it. If I could get away with it, I'd refix it. But having looked at it, I don't think I can. I think someone's already got away with it a few times, and now it's time to build a new one. So there's a big crack down there. Lots of water penetration here. It's been epoxied. There is rot in it. Another crack on this side somewhere, although I can't see it at the moment. And that looks like maybe a bit of marine ply that's been bent across the top there. All these corners have all just started to go and chip and crack off, and I think really the answer with that, I should be able to reuse these curves. This doesn't matter, I've got to a Roquetta that I can use for that. This I might have to remake because, well, you can see all where the water's penetrated. I just, with my finger, I'm just peeling it all apart there. So this I'll have to remake. And the closer I look at it, the more rotten nastiness I find. So that's it.
The whole thing, sadly, needs to be refixed and cleaned up.
Okay, so having refurbed the main hatch as fast as I can, now I'm going to do the garage. What I've done is trace that curve from the old garage and cut it out of a piece of my Roquetta. and cut these two with the right angles. That'll need to be a rebate there, and the reason I've chosen to do that really is simply because I'm copying the old one, which you can just see here has that rebate, so it's that's how it's jointed there. And that I think they've done it that way because it increases the surface area to be glued whilst reducing the end grain that's exposed. So I'm going to go with that. Good scheme. Yeah, so I'm going to cut the rebate in those now. Yep, that's it. Perfect. Bandsaw saves me literally hours of work, hours of it. Let's do the others. See what's starting to come together there now. A bit of sanding and those will be pucker. Oh, that mark is in the wood there. It's not a crack, it looks like it, but it's not. Bang on. And now I've got to find a way to trim that so it's the right shape, and I think that'll be it. Not so sure about this one. I think that fence is stable enough there. Cutting curves with a guide on this is, you know, it's not an expensive bandsaw. It's a brilliant bandsaw, don't get me wrong. Of course, I've got to make sure that I'm cutting the right. Yeah, that is right. Because one cock up like that, cutting the wrong angle on my face there, and that will scrap the entire bit of wood. It's a surgeon, that bandsaw. If you get it right, be careful with it. There's very little that you can't do. Hopefully when I lift that up level, it should be level there too. Oh, tell you what, that's enough for me. Yeah, it's nice that. That will do nicely. Right then, screws and glue. So, I'm going to drill out the screw holes here, and to do that I'm going to use my pillar drill, which, whilst it's not toppest of top quality, none of my tools are because I can't afford that. And what it does offer is a degree of control in terms of how much shaking around there is with the hand that's holding the drill, and the depth of cut. And that's what I need really, because I don't want to go any deeper than about 5mm in there, so that the screw head disappears and I can get a dowel in there but doesn't pop out through there. The other thing is, of course, that's very near to the edge of the plank, and if there's any shaking about there's a good chance that it'll just chip out a bit there, and that'll just make a bit of extra work. As long as I save the chip, I could probably glue it back in, all that rubbish. But I don't need to do that. So here we go. This thing shakes about as it is. We'll see. Yeah, hasn't been used for a while. Come on, come on. There you go. Come on. Almost. Come on. Yeah, speed it up now, look. There we go. Workpiece moved with all the vibration. Right. Well, we live and we learn. So we've got two good ones there, but obviously that one's gone well, but that one elongated a bit, isn't it? I'm probably going to have to dowel that more than once, but anyway. I think the lesson is do it in one hit when you're a drill bit in there. Make sure it goes in the right place, and then keep going until you've got the hole fully drilled, rather than coming out and repositioning, because it's the repositioning, or the having a break and looking at it. I didn't reposition anything. It gives it an opportunity to wander. Yeah, those two went better. They will fit flush after a fashion. Perfect. Of course, I've caught bloody leprosy or something from my darling daughter that she got at school. As soon as you have kids, you grow up thinking your immune system is bulletproof, and then you have kids and you realise that actually it's not. Because everything they get, you get twice as bad. It takes you twice as long to bounce back for it. Philosophical point of the day there. Now, let's just see. You know, I've probably been a little bit too timid with how deep I've made those, but no, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's looking good. Looking good. Alright. Beautiful. So they're sunk in enough. The joints come together very well there. Probably needs a bit of sandpaper down there. I don't know why that's not quite come up. It's probably a bit of swarf or something. Right, do the other corner. It's screwed together. Nice phosphor bronze screws. Silicon bronze, actually, probably. And it's quite strong. It's obviously the joints are okay because it does not wobble at all. Pick that up. Yeah, I need to check it's all square, but actually I think it will be. It's looking pretty good. I might just lay it against the old one and see if it matches. Let's do that. Let's do that quickly. Not that it really matters because I'll be using new fixing points on the boat anyway. You know, we're drilling new holes in it, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see how close to be. Well, frankly, I can't ask for much more than that, I don't think, really. Not bad at all. You'd be forgiven for thinking that was a little narrow, but it's actually not. I have measured. Oh no, it's hanging over this end actually. Oh no. Very nice. Very nice. Now, what I'm going to try and do, and that bandsaw, you know what? Even for I think it was 70 quid or something, that bandsaw. The work and time that saves me. I've just chamfered all these edges off, brought those joints up nicely and put that in line with everything, and the underside as well, so it'll fit the coach roof. You know, and it took 10 minutes of buggering about on a bandsaw, which, my god. And because it's Iroko, if you plane that stuff instead, there's always the risk that you're going to tear a bit of grain or lift it and have some more little sort of touch up and repair to do. That bandsaw really is. It was worth every penny. There it is. Okay, so now I'm going to make the supports that go across here. There'll be one there, one here. I can't reuse this because it's knackered, but this is doubled up. So I might be able to, if I can get those out cleanly, part them, because they won't be glued, or if they will, the glue will be knackered now. Part them, spread them out in there and use those as two. And this, I don't know, I might have to copy that as opposed to reusing it because there's a bit of rot in it, but we'll see. Right, onward then. I've just been salvaging old bits of wood, so from the last garage I've managed to get, and this is mahogany, I didn't realise. Nice bit of stuff. Not very well fixed though. I've found lots of, I mean they're not even galvanised nails, they're just ordinary nails in there that are all rotted out. That bit I've just done on the bandsaw to fit in the inside edge of the garage there, so the planks on the top will lay flush against it. And that I've just finished cleaning up, getting the old epoxy off. Very quick with a blowtorch, it's probably the only way really to do it without bugging about for days. So those are the supports for the inside, the little beams. So I've reached the point where I've got to stop for a while now. Roko dust on the lens there. So I've ripped down these strips. That should be enough. I might be one short, but it's okay because I've got a whole other plank of Roko there ready to go. And these beams here, these frames really, I've salvaged those from the old garage, which is now there. Fortunately, they made a good stuff, you know, nice bit of mahogany, and I've angled those on the bandsaw the same way as I did those and glued it in. So all of those sort of sit to half an inch below the sides, and when I look at them, they are all lovely in line. So I'll just tack that together with some glue now. I'm going to let that set, and as soon as it's set a bit so that I can move around here without disturbing anything, I will get my router and shape the planks for the top, put the halvings in the planks for the top. I'll get away with halvings, I think, because there's not too much of a curve on there, so the point where there's a bit of a lip where it stands up between the planks there shouldn't be too pronounced. I'll be able to just sand it off, be fine. So I'll cut the halvings, and as soon as that glue is dry, I'll be able to lay it up, and we'll be nearly there. Great.